Footage of PlayStation's upcoming Project Q handheld just leaked online. And going into this one, if you already thought that this thing looked like they cut a PlayStation 5 controller in half, glued a tablet right in the center, then yeah, you'd be pretty spot on. Now the video leak in question comes from Twitter user ZubiTech. And following this leak, we have some new details and some pretty key takeaways to talk about. First, I mean, this thing's a whole lot bigger than I originally expected it to be.
That's what she said.
And reportedly, this controller will have an 8-inch LCD screen capable of running games at 1080p and 60 frames per second. Now for me, I mean, the DualSense is probably one of my favorite controllers today, and I'm really excited to see that they kept the design in lieu of like doing small backbone controllers or even like the little Nintendo Switch controllers. But one thing I wasn't prepared for, and honestly kind of shocked me, was that I did not expect to see that the controller would extend across the back of this screen, which hopefully will add a little bit more rigidness to the device and just make it feel a little more expensive than some of the other handhelds that I own that just feel flimsy. And keeping with the DualSense design, PlayStation's Project Q handheld will also have haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, which might be the reason this thing is my favorite controller. But going back to the screen real quick, the other major revelation that this video gave me was apparently the Project Q is going to have touchscreen support. And let's get those RIP Vitas in the chat, because this is giving me major shades of Vita, and it's also kind of giving me hope that, like, I know this thing will primarily just have remote play for the PlayStation 5 and a little bit of cloud gaming, but like, I hope because this is touch enabled, we might see some like native touch enabled supported games on this handheld, but that's very wishful thinking. But anyway, if we could real quick, I want to go back to that interface, and I want to preface this by saying that I really hope this is early stages, because the Project Q interface is really bland and honestly quite off-putting. It doesn't resemble any generation of PlayStation interface, and it looks more just like a generic tablet stuck between two controllers. Like, Sony as a company is so focused on branding and making sure that your interaction with PlayStation products feels the same across the board, and when you go from like PlayStation 5 interface to this, it just couldn't look any more different. And that kind of leads me to believe what we're seeing is early stages of Project Q. But going back to that video real quick, ignoring the basic ass interface, Project Q will also apparently be running Android as its OS on the back end. Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting. As long as PlayStation doesn't lock up the Android OS, you can do emulators, you can install other games on it. That's a very exciting takeaway. Now, we do know that Sony's Project Q will primarily be working with PlayStation Remote Play. However, after seeing this device, I really do hope that we get some like native cloud support from Sony on this one. And what I mean by that is, like, obviously Remote Play is technically cloud gaming, but allow me to stream a PlayStation game directly to this device without even needing a PlayStation 5. Because that is where the conversation around Project Q becomes so convoluted, messy, and just, it becomes a hard sale, even for me, someone who loves PlayStation. Because according to reports, Sony is planning on selling this thing for under $300. But with it primarily being remote play right out of the gate, that means you also need a $500 PlayStation 5 to use this. So day one, Project Q's cost of ownership goes from under $300 to $800, which quite frankly, for just a generic Android tablet with controllers, that's way too much for this device. And if we're just throwing out like a wish list here, I mean, my dream for this device would be $199. I think that would definitely ease the pain of needing a PlayStation 5 to make this work, but also $199 becomes ultra competitive in the marketplace, and it would make the Project Q one of the most appealing handhelds on the market. Now, all of that being said, and all the cloud gaming wishing aside, we still don't know what the actual network infrastructure for this device is going to be, but again, I feel like Sony has been doing cloud gaming and trying to make remote play a thing for so long that if that's what the primary function of this device is going to be, Sony probably thought it all out. But anyway, what do you all think? Did the leak video excite you? Did it disappoint you? Are you gonna pick up this device? And don't forget, Nerf Gaming Hotline is live. The link is in the description. Click that link, leave us a voicemail free of charge. I absolutely love getting to hear your guys' thoughts on videos like these or other stories that we don't even talk about, so please leave us a message there. And until next time, my name is Bryant. This has been Nerf Gaming News, and we will see you in the next video.